Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel. So in this video, isi-share ko sa inyo yung mga big news and announcements na ginawa ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller kani-kanina lang or just few hours ago that can affect significantly the international students in Canada. So first and foremost is the capping of the international students in Canada. The second one is the eligibility in the post-graduation work permit. And finally, the eligibility of the spouses of international students in getting an open work permit. So if you're interested in these topics, please keep on watching. So guys, mainit-init pa itong balitang to. So maraming announcements, maraming naapektuhan, maraming nagkaroon ng anxiety because of the big news that have been made earlier. So papasok pa lang ako ng school when the announcement was made. So ngayon, when I came back from school, so naisipan kong i-share sa inyo ano ba yung mga in-announce kanina. So just a disclaimer lang pala guys, I am not an immigration consultant here in Canada nor an immigration lawyer, and hindi po ako affiliated sa IRCC. I am just sharing this news kung ano man yung nabasa ko, and being also an invested person dahil isa rin akong international student here in Canada. So I am very invested and very interested in knowing what are these news that can affect us and also the future international students here in Canada. So before in-announce ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller yung mga pasabog kanina, yan, nagbigay muna siya ng background or rationale bakit niya gagawin itong mga necessary policies na ito ngayong taon ng 2024. So according to Mark Miller, so international students enrich our communities and are a critical part of Canada's social, cultural, and economic fabric. However, in recent years, the integrity of international student system has been threatened. Why? Ito na talaga yung problema na nakikita nila, kaya nila in-implement itong mga policies ngayon. Because some institutions have significantly increased their intakes to drive revenues, and more students have been arriving in Canada without the proper supports that they need to succeed. So, meaning marami talagang nagsusulputang mga schools that are encouraging international students to enroll in their program. However, yun nga yung walang masyadong resources. So, as a result, hindi nagiging maganda or pleasant yung experience ng mga international students. They do not get the education that they deserve. And as a result, they are just looking for work instead rather than focusing on their studies. Further, he mentioned that rapid increases in the number of international students arriving in Canada also puts pressure on housing, healthcare, and other services. So dito na makikita yung maraming problema, diba, na gusto nilang i-address. And that is putting some policies on the international student program in Canada. So because of the housing crisis, you know, there's a lot of people na wala na talagang makitang affordable housing. Even if international student ka, you will be studying in the next intake or in the next few months, it's gonna be difficult for you to see an affordable housing. As what we have been hearing all over the news, there's a housing crisis here in Canada. So, nagliliparan yung mga presyo ng renta dito, whether apartment or townhouse or even bed space. So, to address this housing crisis, so they are now implementing certain policies on the rapid increase in the international students here in Canada. Aside from the housing crisis, they are also looking on the effects of the increase of international students in the healthcare system and other services, just like in the food bank. So we have known, or we have seen a lot of clamor saying that international students should not have been getting food from the food bank. And then Mark Miller further said that as we work to better protect international students from bad actors and support sustainable population growth in Canada, the government is moving forward with measures to stabilize the number of international students in Canada. So according to the news, nasa 1 million na ang student visas na na-release nila sa mga international students, but that is scattered for the next 3 years. However, that is really a big number which they want to control. So hindi na raw pwedeng tuloy-tuloy ang paglobo ng international students here in Canada. That's why here is their first measure in order to control that increase. And that is one, to put a cap on international students. So nabanggit na rin natin ito previously that the government of Canada has been contemplating on the capping of the international students here in Canada. Although according to that earlier news, it's gonna be long discussion dahil hindi lang federal government ang dapat mag-decide on the capping of international students, but also the provincial government should also have a say on this. However, ito na nga, dumating na ang araw where they will already implement that capping of international students here in Canada. So, the government of Canada will set an intake cap on international student permit applications to stabilize new growth for a period of 2 years. So, for 2024, that is for this year, the cap is expected to result in approximately 360,000 approved study permits. So, again, 360,000 lang ang i-approve na study permits for this year. So that is a decrease of 35% from 2023. So paano na nga ba yung mga mag-a-apply ngayon? So mag-aagawan na lang sila sa slots na 360,000. So yung iba na nag-iisip pa rin kung gusto nilang mag-lodge na or later on na ba for this year. So dapat i-take into consideration yung itong announcement na to seriously, kasi kapag maybe later on pa kayo mag-apply, ubos na yung slots or yung given cap ay na-implement na. So again, for this year, Canada will only be approving 360,000 study permits. So however, as you have known, Canada is comprised of so many provinces. And sa bawat provinces na yan, marami ang designated learning institutions. So paano ba i-allocate yung 360,000 study permits? So anong school yung marami ba? Anong province yung ganito lang yung limit? So yan, according to IRCC, it's gonna allocate a portion of the cap to each province and territory, who will then distribute the allocation among their designated learning institutions. Meaning, si IRCC na ang magde-decide gaano karami per province ang dapat ma-approve lang for this given year for the student visa. And once na ibigay na yung number kay province, so si province naman ang mag-a-allocate per designated learning institution na hawak niya or under its jurisdiction. However, take note that in the spirit of fairness, individual, provincial, and territorial caps have been established weighted by population, which will result in much more significant decreases in provinces where the international student population has seen the most unsustainable growth. Meaning, mas papababain pa nila yung parang sigurong quota para sa province na to if they have seen this province already have unsustainable growth of international students. So, one example na lang ng province na according to the news will be cut in half ay Ontario dahil dun talaga sobrang dami na ng international students. However, as of now and with this given announcement, we don't have the figures yet kung paano ba i-distribute yung 360,000 na pwede lang i-approve for the given year. So abangan natin yung mga succeeding announcements ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller regarding the allocation of the student visa approval. However, kindly take note that the capping on the number of the international students here in Canada has the following exceptions. So, number 1, hindi ito mag-a-apply sa study permit renewals. Number 2, so those pursuing master's and doctoral degrees yan, and elementary and secondary education are not included in the cap. And finally, number 3, so take note that current study permit holders will not be affected. So kindly take note that this exception is placed on the capping of the international students. So kaya tayo merong confusion somehow later on kasi itong statement na to, it did not appear as an exception sa other measures na in-announce niya today. So let's take a look sa mga statements na binitawan ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller kanina.
Be absolutely clear, these measures are not against individual international students. They are to ensure that as future students arrive in Canada, they receive the quality of education that they signed up for and the hope that they were provided in their home countries. It would be a disservice to welcome international students in Canada knowing not all of them are getting the resources they need to succeed in Canada and having them return home disillusioned and disappointed in Canada's education system. Allowing bad actors to continue their operations would be a disservice to all the good institutions who pride themselves in providing a top-tier academic experience.
So with that, ito yung reasoning ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller bakit siya nagkakaroon ng capping of international students. So babalik na naman tayo doon sa mga unscrupulous institutions or individuals na sumusulpot na lang para magsabi na meron silang diploma or program na in-offer sa international students para lang kumita ng matataas na revenue but their program is really nothing or walang sense or wala rin silang resources to accommodate those international students na nag-enroll sa kanilang program. So as Mark Miller said, it's unacceptable that some private institutions have taken advantage of international students by operating under-resourced campuses. So yung ibang schools nasa strip malls lang, masabi lang na school sila, pero wala silang mga resources or campuses na tatawagin. So ito talaga yung gustong i-control o i-curb ng Immigration of Canada. Yan, sobrang dami na umaabuso at gumagawa ng mga sari-saring programs para lang makaakit ng international students dito sa Canada. And as part of the capping of the international students nga pala, meron na ngayong tatawaging attestation letter. So ano nga ba tong attestation letter? So to implement the cap, as of today, January 22, 2024, every study permit application submitted to IRCC will also require an attestation letter from a province or territory. So, ibig sabihin, if you are going to submit your student visa application now, so it must be equipped or there must be an attached attestation letter. So, saan ba to nakukuha? Paano ba to ginagawa? So, it says here that provinces and territories are expected to establish a process for issuing attestation letters to students by no later than March 31, 2024. However, kindly take note that meron ditong somehow confusion or loophole. Kasi sinasabi na starting today, 'di ba? Kapag mag-apply na tayo ng student visa application, meron na dapat kasamang attestation letter. And yung attestation letter na yon ay manggagaling sa mga provinces and territories or particularly sa designated learning institutions. So in order to prove siguro na hindi pa tayo lumalagpas sa cap or nandun pa tayo sa allotted number of study permits na pwedeng ma-approve. Pero ang sinasabi dito, aayusin pa lang ang process sa pag-issue ng attestation letters to students by no later than March 31, 2024. So the question is, paano makakakuha ng attestation letters yung mga gusto nang mag-submit today until March 31? So 'di ba merong period of time na questionable. Saan manggagaling yung attestation letter where in fact nga hindi pa nakaka-establish yung provinces and territories sa pag-i-issue nun. So I hope in the next few announcement, no, meron na tayong clear guidelines about it. So pwedeng sabihin na as clarification, sa March 31 pa pala mare-require yung attestation letter kasi nga wala pang process as of now. However, yung confusing part is that they are saying that starting today, you are going to submit your student visa application together with an attestation letter. So I can't give any clarification on that. I am just sharing you the announcement or the news na binigay kanina. So since this is not yet clear, yan, we'll just hope na magkaroon ng clearer guidelines along the way. And then, the next one is the duration. So, gaano ba katagal ilalagay ang capping? So, gaano ba katagal na ganito yung sistema? Diba? Kasi, it's just a temporary policy. Nilagay lang ito ngayon ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller dahil nakikita niya nga na strained na ang housing, healthcare, and other services here in Canada. And the implementation of capping will just put an ease or para lang ma-relax yung mga strained services dito sa Canada. So, how about the duration? So, gaano katagal magkakaroon ng capping dito sa International Student Program ng Canada? So, according to the announcement, these temporary measures will be in place for 2 years. So, that is for this year, 2024, and next year, 2025. So, and the number of study permit applications that will be accepted in 2025 will be reassessed at the end of this year. So, meaning, wala pa tayong targeted number for next year. So, it's gonna be announced maybe at the end of the year when they already have a concrete evaluation or assessment, ano ba yung naging effect ng pagkakaroon ng capping on the first year of the implementation. So now, let's proceed with the second measure na i-implement, and this is gonna cause a lot of heartache, shocking news to a lot of people. So, in talking about the post-graduation work permit, so they announced that starting September 1, 2024, so malapit na yan ha. So international students who begin a study program that is part of a curriculum licensing arrangement will no longer be eligible for a post-graduation work permit upon graduation. So ano nga ba itong curriculum licensing arrangement? So to further clarify on that, under curriculum licensing agreements, students physically attend a private college that has been licensed to deliver the curriculum of an associated public college. So, merong arrangement si private college and the public college, and given that arrangement, it is the private college that will deliver that program to the international student. So these programs have seen significant growth in attracting international students in recent years, though they have less oversight than public colleges, and they act as a loophole with regards to post-graduation work permit eligibility. So another matter affecting the post-graduation work permit on that announcement is that graduates of master's and other short graduate level programs will soon be eligible to apply for a 3-year work permit. So as what you can see, diba, mas napoprotektahan na ngayon ni Canada yung mga nag-aaral ng master's, doctoral, or higher forms of professional study. So with that, yung mga nagma-masters, even that is just 1 year, so under that announcement, they will soon be eligible to apply for a 3-year work permit. So yeah, as what you can see in the current setup talaga, kung gano'n lang kahaba yung program mo, gano'n lang din kahaba yung ibibigay nilang post-grad work permit. So, ngayon, iniiba na nila since this is a higher form of education, this is masterals or other short graduate level program, bibigyan ka na ng 3 years post-graduation work permit para rin mas magkaroon ka ng opportunity to gain work experience. Sabi nga ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller, kanina ito yung mga type ng students, yung mga nagmamasteral, doctoral, or other higher forms of study na gusto nilang i-retain in this country. And finally, the final measure na in-announce ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller na nag-cause ng a lot of heartache heartaches yan. Lalo na sa mga incoming international students. Yung iba, yan na disheartened na baka hindi na tumuloy sa pagiging international student ng Canada is because ito wala ng open work permit na i-grant sa spouses ng international students ng Canada. So this is really a breaking news para sa lahat dahil ito nga yung parang somehow difference ni Canada sa ibang countries when it comes to an international student program. Kasi dito sa Canada, for the past few years, pwedeng maisama ng international student ang kanyang spouse or kanyang pamilya. But now, there is an announcement that says, in the weeks ahead, open work permits will only be available to spouses of international students in master's and doctoral programs. So, if hindi ganon yung course nyo, alam nyo na hindi may issuean ng open work permit ang inyong asawa. So, the spouses of international students in other levels of study, including undergraduate and college programs, will no longer be eligible. So guys, medyo masakit to and very, talaga to, turning point na dapat mag-decide kayo kung itutuloy nyo pa ba ang pagiging international student dito sa Canada o hindi. Lalong-lalo na if paparating pa lang kayo or magpa-file pa lang kayo ng student visa application. Kasi guys, kami na naka-experience na may OWP, ang laking tulong talaga na kasama namin yung asawa. Of course, kasama na doon yung nakakaipon for the payment of the bills and expenses. Pero, guys, sobrang laki rin talaga ng bagay na nandito yung family mo sa kasama mo sa ibang bansa, di ba nakikipagsapalaran ka, it's a foreign country, hindi nyo alam ang mga bagay-bagay, iba pa rin yung may katuwang, di ba? Pero ngayon na tatanggalin na nila yung grant ng open work permit. Ngayon, mapapaisip ka na if you are going to pursue it absent your spouse. So, pwede pa naman talagang mag-aral or international student dito sa Canada. Makakakuha ka pa rin ng PGWP. However, can you take note na hindi na mabibigyan ng open work permit ang iyong spouse whether married ka dito or common law partner mo siya. So, in the weeks ahead, yan, aabangan natin yung mga magiging news or announcements na ibibigay ng Immigration of Canada kasi marami pang confused, marami pang tanong about it, especially kasama ba dito yung mga mag-a-apply ng PGWP and isasama yung mga open work permit holders nila. Yan parang kami, if we apply soon, yan yung mga PGWP namin as an international student, di ba? Ma-apply pa ba namin yung mga open work permit holders namin o yung mga spouses namin for OWP? So, hindi pa clear, although some are saying na hindi kami kasama kasi nga current international students na kami, hindi kami yung incoming. But still, mas maganda 'di ba na makapaglabas sila ng clearer rules, announcements, and guidelines para iwas sa confusion. Kasi nagkakagulo talaga. Nasa group ako nagbabasa ng mga katanungan and some are already panicking, anxious, some are disheartened na, 'di ba, last year, nagkaroon na ng announcement sa pagtataas ng proof of funds. And then, ngayon, capping naman. And then, ito, malaking bagay guys, lalo na kung may asawa yung international student. Tapos, hindi na pwedeng isama dahil hindi na mabibigyan ng open work permit. So, yun talaga yung parang feel mo, turning point na baka hindi mo na dapat ituloy sa ngayon. Kasi nga sabi dito sa announcement, this capping of international student and the other measures that we have mentioned ay temporary lang. So, 2 years lang, they will reassess kung ano ba yung naging effect, positive ba or kailangan na bang magluwag later on kasi mamaya naman masobrahan at wala na mag-apply na international student dito sa Canada. So guys, alam ko marami pang tanong na of course specific sa mga situations ninyo, and as I've mentioned, I am not an immigration consultant or lawyer or affiliated to IRCC. I know I can't answer a lot of questions ngayon dahil nga nag-base lang tayo ngayon sa announcements. But I hope nagkaroon kayo ng ideas about the major measures na i-implement in the few weeks to come. Kung merong mga announcements again by the Immigration Minister Mark Miller, so I will make another video as a follow-up, lalong-lalo na sa part ng OWP kasi I am really highly invested to know that kasi nga kahit kami pwedeng maapektuhan when sasabihin nilang even PGWP applicants or mag-a-apply pa lang ay mawawalan na ng eligibility to apply for an open work permit para sa aming spouses. So wag naman sana guys maging ganun kasi alam ko maraming magiging affected, baka magkaroon ng rally kasi ang daming international students dito na may spouses na nagwo-work. So syempre mahalaga rin na masama sila when we do our PGWP application. So yan guys, ang biggest announcements for today ni Immigration Minister Mark Miller. I know it's a lot for us to digest. So medyo hindi pa nagsisink in sa iba. Alam ko maraming maaapektuhan because of this announcement, lalo na sa OWP part. Kasi if nangyari yan sa time ko or ngayon pa lang kami mag-a-apply, I will definitely not proceed in applying to Canada kung hindi ko naman kasama yung spouse ko or other dependents. So ayan guys, I hope malinawan din tayo in the next weeks to come with the next announcements to be made by the Immigration of Canada. So yan lang guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace!